Following closely the South African evacuation mission to Wuhan in China following the outbreak there, a team from the Department of Health and Defense, hailed as heroes by President Cyril Ramaphosa, set off last night. They're going to be repatriating around 120 South Africans from Wuhan who want to return. To discuss, we're joined by our foreign editor Sophie Mokoena. She was at Johannesburg's Tambo International Airport last night to see them off. Sophie, thank you for being with us. Do we know where the plane is, where the team is right now?
The plane was supposed to leave at 9 p.m. last night, but you know, when you look at the logistics, it was not possible to really leave at that time. Therefore, you'll find that perhaps in a space of an hour or two in between, they did leave for Asia. Asia, because the first stop is Philippines, Manila, where they will have a stopover to refill, because it's a long haul and the plane is not meant perhaps to fly directly to China because it's quite a distance. We have been told that it was going to be a 14 hours trip.
Okay.
Therefore, when you look at the time difference, you must remember China or Asia is ahead of us. You have to take that into consideration. So the speculation might be they have landed in Philippines, but the question is, have they left Philippines? Because they must be there on time in Wuhan. They have only 8 hours to complete the mission. What we heard from our sources in Wuhan is that those who want to leave have already been told to prepare and pack. Remember, they will be told at the moment when they are supposed to go to the airport that stand by, go to this place and let's leave, because it is a very, very tight mission and program and task to ensure that you move them from their respective places to the airport. Very strict movements, because the Chinese government has indicated previously that they don't have a problem with South Africans going home and the South African government doing that, but they will have to be involved so that there are no issues. You have to procure the transport that will take them from their respective places to the airport. On arrival at the airport, I suspect they will have to go through the checks again to ensure that everything is fine. But this has been done jointly. It is the Department of International Relations via the embassy. You have the defense, you have health department, and of course the crew that is flying the plane.
Okay, so logistically wise, South Africa and China involved, China on that side. Of course, you don't want them coming into contact with other people. Wuhan is in lockdown. And let's just be clear, these are South Africans who are healthy.
Yes, the president last night, the Minister of Health last night, the Minister of Defense, and those who are involved, the cluster, the ministerial task team that is dealing with this issue, they have on many occasions emphasized the fact that these South Africans are not sick. They don't have the virus as we speak. They have been tested. They have followed all the protocols in China in terms of staying indoors and doing what they are supposed to do to ensure that they don't have the virus. And we were assured yesterday that no South African, as we speak, in China has had this problem. And therefore, you have more than 2,000 South Africans in different parts of China. And they have really followed the instructions to ensure that they don't have a problem. So these South Africans who are coming home are just individuals who feel that perhaps they would want to come home. You know, when you are going through an emotion, you always want people around you and your relatives and people that you are familiar with. And the parents and the relatives are the ones who did put pressure on government to say, please, we want our relatives, our children, our sisters, our brothers, our fathers back home. And these are very smart South Africans. You must listen when you communicate with them. Very professional, very articulate. They are doing different work. Some are studying. And therefore, these are a crop of a very skilled group of South Africans that can be utilized later in the country.
And it's interesting, you were saying that the team that's going also has a certain profile and quite young.
Yes, when you look at the team that went to China, fortunately, when we repatriated the remains of the South Africans in Nigeria, I remember the collapse of the building, the TB Joshua, I was there, I saw the crew. It was more of a senior crew that went there from the Defense Force and everybody. This time around, they are very young. Look at the pilots. These are very, very young people. And what was also quite pleasing, they are so confident and very relaxed. That's how they were. You can see that they are looking forward to do this and they are ready to do what they are supposed to do for the country. And on the issue of the concerns that the South Africans who are coming back home might bring problems here, let's take a listen at what the president had to say in his message to those who will be leaving, that was last night, who have gone to Wuhan. Let's take a listen at what the president had to say.
The 121 or so people that we are bringing back are all healthy. They are not sick. We need to make that very clear to the entire nation. We are not going to fetch disease-ridden people out of China. We are bringing back our healthy young people whose parents, who are all like us, have said we would like our children to come back. Many of us are parents, and the familial feeling kicks in and say, I'd like my child to come back. And the government has to be on hand, as it must for all South Africans, to bring them back. So they are not sick. When they come back, we've all announced and agreed that we're going to put them in quarantine, and there will be a lockdown, which will be supervised by the Defense Force, and there will also be health people, just to take any doubt out. Now, I want to assure South Africans that there is no sick person we are bringing back. There is no sickness that we are bringing back. And those who might have concerns that the quarantine area, which we are not going to disclose now, may be too close to where they live, I can assure you that no disease is going to spill out of that area because they are not sick, and we just making absolutely certain.
All right, so really just a precautionary quarantine when they arrive, and thank you very much. I know you will follow the movements of those South Africans when that team gets back with the repatriated South Africans. That was our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena. All right, we take a short break. Lots more to come on The Full View. Stay with us.